We are back from the break. This is Sports Zone. I am Muftau Nabila Ablasho, proudly brought to you by Guinness. Yes, we can. Piva Beverages, a taste you love. And for Piva Beverages, they offer a variety of flavors. We have the cola, the tangy, cocktail, orange, apple, and grape. And the new brand in the market, that is the Game Energy drink. Unleash the power, feel the energy. That is what Piva presents to us in the market. Just a couple of hours ago, Monaco confirmed that Ghana's defender, Mohamed Salisu, is injured and is likely to be out for a very long time. Yesterday, Mohamed Kudus also played just about 90 minutes for Tottenham Hotspur in their Premier League game. It appeared there are some concerns about injury. I remember in one of our conversations, Anakranti was talking about the fact that by the time the World Cup comes around, there will be players who will be injured. You need what, you need what, you need what. The World Cup is still about 6 months away, and already there are some concerns about the fitness level of the injury situation in Ghana's camp. And with Mohamed Salisu, reports suggesting that he could miss the FIFA World Cup. What does this really mean for Ghana? Let me introduce my guest. Seated on my far left is Victor Achitamakulu. VAT. They say you are reducing the value at the tax. So
we like it.
So we should take one of your names out, so you become VA.
Oh no, we like what Atu Forson and his people are doing. They should continue.
He's forcing.
Yes.
They should continue. Then Akrantin.
Yeah, God is good.
How are you?
God is good. God is good.
How is the family?
Super fantastic. Yeah.
The other day I called Bedan Akrantin and he was babysitting.
How good do How good do This guy can hear, but he's still prolonging the full
conversation. You can hear the president's address.
Don't hurry up and cut it so I can go and deal with matters. The guy was prolonging the thing.
Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Let's have a conversation about Mohamed Salisu. When you let me start with you. When you heard the announcement from Monaco about the fact that he's injured, he's likely to miss the FIFA World Cup and all that, what was going through your mind relating it to Otoado's team?
I saw it at the wrong time. I had some 2 hours this evening, so I sneaked off to the house to go and rest because the last 48 hours has been crazy for me. So the moment I woke up, I saw some notifications on my phone, and then my heart started racing. Because usually it's been a while that I saw my phone blowing up in that manner. And I saw it was all Twitter. I said, okay, it's nothing related to family.
Yeah.
It might probably be work. And then it's Salisu. Look, it's heartbreaking for him. I don't think anyone can imagine what he's going through now. Because he's had a very difficult last 24 months. For the most part of last season, he struggled to get game time. And I think it was only around this time last year, in January, that he started getting minutes. But even then, he was playing sporadically. After the season ended, then he started getting games. So if you remember, in the past 18 months or so, the only time Salisu had any bit of joy was when he came down to play for the Black Stars in the AFCON.
Yeah. In fact, people even had concerns about the fact that he was not playing. Otto was calling him and all that. Yeah.
And if you look at the mood around the national team during the AFCON qualifiers, it was not great. I mean, the team didn't win a single game. Everyone was just criticizing them. His own performance was bad. The entire team was bad. Yeah. And so even though he had a reprieve from the lack of game time away from Monaco, the mood in itself was not anything significant because there was a lot of introspection. There is a lot of pressure that he and the team were under, owing to their failure to qualify for the Cup of Nations. So I think if he had any joy, it would be from March, when the World Cup qualifiers began, March of last year. And then it followed through into the new season. We started seeing him playing. He won a man of the match in the Champions League. And that, for me, was the highlight of the past year, because from someone who was not even making the 18-man squad at a point for Monaco. Now he became a mainstay. Now he was playing twice in a week. And mind you, that workload appeared to have been too much for Salisu in the past, especially when he recovered from that ankle
injury.
So they had to manage his game time for about the best part of a year. And so to see him now being able to play on Saturday and then on Wednesday the following week repeatedly for Monaco for me was really exciting. And then he started playing so well that he started winning Man of the Match awards. I think he has even got a goal this campaign. So for this to happen at this point, look, he'll be asking a lot of questions about himself and how unlucky he has been. I only hope that he makes a miraculous recovery from the ACL, which unfortunately for most players, you're talking between 6 to 8 months before they even get onto the pitch and start putting serious pressure on the knees and their ankles to start playing. So it's not great news, and I can only pray for him that he makes a good recovery.
Danike, how does this impact the Black Stars?
It was a big blow. That partnership with Jiku has proven to be solid, especially in the last 12 months. Clean sheet machine together with the goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari. They've been brilliant for the Black Stars.
Benjamin, clean sheet
Asari. It's not just about their defensive ability. The ability to go forward and score also. He contributed 2 goals this year during the World Cup qualifiers. And we saw the Black Stars' efficiency in set-piece go up, and he's part of the reason for that, himself and Jiku. And again, look, when you're going to a competition like this, partnerships are very important, especially midfield and defense. Jiku has played with Salisu for the best part of, I think, the last 3.5 years, 4 years. So they have that understanding. They've played at major competitions before. They have that understanding. And it's painful because this was probably going to be the best version of Salisu we would have seen heading into a major competition. He's on form. He's playing regularly. His team is depending on him, especially in terms of defensive output. When Salisu plays well, Monaco play well defensively. And it's just unfortunate that it has come at this time. The timing is very bad because it's very unlikely he will recover in time for the World Cup, which hurts. So then it means that Otuado now needs to start thinking about a possible replacement. We know that he's been using Jerome Opoku as a like-for-like replacement for him. Then it means that from now to the World Cup, Jerome Opoku and Jiku must build that synergy quickly enough before the competition starts. But again, look, when one of your first choice centre backs is missing from a major competition, it's always a big blow. And for me, I think he's probably one of the most informed Ghanaian players abroad. And it's a big blow. But again, I said it a couple of weeks ago, that's just the nature of these World Cup years. It happens every time. Players will get injured at very bad times. We saw the last World Cup, Benzema missing out. I think it was Nkunku who also missed out last minute through a knee injury. It happens. Players always go through these things.
I think this guy also had a similar challenge. N'Golo Kante also had some fitness issues.
Heading to the World Cup. So it's quite unfortunate, but it happens. And again, not to be like a naysayer, but we would expect more. The thing is that it happens every season in terms of injuries, but because there's a major competition at the end of the season, the World Cup injuries are a bit more profound.
And that's why those injuries are always highlighted.
Yeah.
You know, when there's no major competition coming up, such stories do not dominate the headlines. But when there's a major competition like the World Cup, definitely these are things that we'll be talking about.
We just have to pray that someone like Abdul Momin makes a significant leap in his recovery process. I think he started playing. So, and when I say recovery, I'm talking about recovery to his
levels, the standard levels, that we are looking at.
To the point where he becomes a strong contender for the centre-back position, because he's one of the few players in that team.
After that game against Angola, the boy has...
It's the injury. It's the injury. Otherwise, he would have at least enjoyed call-ups.
Yeah, certainly.
Yes. So now that he's back, I'm just hoping that he plays a lot of minutes so that between now and the end of the season, Otto finds a way to fit him into the team because he's one of those players who interprets rules very, very well. And it all owes to the sort of education that he has at Norgeland and in his formative years. And so we do have options, except that you don't want to see some of these injuries ahead of major tournaments. I mean, like Daniel explained, they happen all the time. And we just have to pray for better luck for our players.
Pray for better luck for our players. Mohamed Kudus too, like we said. We don't know the extent of his injury though, because we're here to get anything from Tottenham Hotspur. But he limped off in that game against Sunderland yesterday within 19 minutes into that game. So maybe when we have an idea about his injury situation as well, then we'll be in a better position to talk about that. But let me take you to England and bring you highlights of some of the matches that happened. Arsenal, maybe finally. It is still early days yet. Very soon we might begin to see the memes pop up about how an elephant is seated on the branch of a tree. Because whenever Arsenal is at the top, those memes always pop up. But they came from behind to beat Bournemouth by 3-2. Then there was a contest between Liverpool and Fulham. That also ended in a draw. Then Manchester United also drew against Leeds United. Chelsea came up against Manchester City. Their game also ended in a draw. In fact, there were so many draws that happened over the weekend. Let me take you to there and bring you highlights of these matches. When we come back, we'll touch on Ruben Amorim. He's been fired. And in fact, between January 1 and January 5, 2 managers in the Premier League have been sacked. One from the Scottish League. Hey, New Year, people are losing their jobs. Wow. Let's go for the highlights of these matches. Some of the matches played in the Premier League just gone by is Chelsea's 1-1 draw against Manchester City. Chelsea scoring late. Coachless Chelsea. I don't know if that's a perfect way to describe them. And then Arsenal, are they finally there? Would they last the whole course? Would they be able to grind out results? Earlier today, I saw a post on social media saying that when Arsenal had an opportunity, Manchester City had an opportunity of playing their matches early to put pressure on Arsenal, Manchester City dropped points. When Arsenal had an opportunity of playing matches earlier to put pressure on Manchester City, Arsenal got all their points, Manchester City dropped their points. I don't know how that actually plays out. But Danny, is Mikel Arteta finally finding the right approach and mentality to see Arsenal through a season, considering how they are able to grind out results?
Arsenal have had the mentality for a while. They've been a top team for a while. The thing is that there's a certain threshold you must hit if you want to win the Premier League. And they've been hitting that threshold. The only unfortunate thing is that Man City and last year Liverpool have just been better. Last season, obviously, Liverpool were way better. But in previous seasons, Man City have been slightly better. But if at first you don't succeed, you try again. And they've kept on trying. And that's very admirable from an Arsenal point of view, because it's very difficult to consistently miss out on something, regroup, and still challenge season after season after season. So I generally think this is the season they'll win it. Why? Because they are still operating at that top level. And all the other rivals have serious question marks on them. You look at this Man City. I didn't think Man City will mount a proper title challenge. I thought that what happened during the early December was it was one of those things.
How they started the season, who would have thought they would be in?
Yeah, and all of a sudden they would win and they would go on top, and Arsenal would need to win to come back on top. But in a space of 6 days, they've dropped 4 points. Arsenal have opened the gap. Aston Villa, we know, will not give a proper title challenge. And it seems like Arsenal are slowly running away with the title. But they need to maintain that consistency. If Arsenal can finish the month of February with an 8-point, 10-point gap, I'll say it's done and dusted. Because the rest of the teams behind them, the rest of the teams behind them, they don't have it in them to mount a consistent winning run. This Manchester City team is not the City team of 2-3 years ago. They are not. Whether you like it or not, they are just not. When you even look at Pep Guardiola, he looks defeated. this is probably a game a couple of seasons ago City would have destroyed Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
You look at the chances they missed in the game. But credit also to Chelsea for believing. They were not, especially in the second half. Yes, City missed chances, but in the second half, Chelsea seemed much better. And you could just tell that once it was 1-0, they just knew that they just needed that, possible. They just needed that next chance. And they'll get the goal, and they did. At the end of the day, I don't think it's a win for Chelsea. I don't think it's more of a win for Arsenal because they are just opening their points gap. Chelsea, with that point, they're not going to do anything with it. Probably will finish in the top 4 because, as I said, the rest of the teams chasing are not of the standard. But Arsenal should win the Premier League title. They should win it. I think it's long overdue. They should win it. I'll be very happy if they win. And I think they are on course to get the job done.
Are they on course? Is Arsenal on course?
I think I made this point about 3 months ago about how the recruitments they had done and the various stages of their growth had led them to a point where winning the league this season seems inevitable. And I think that has also been escalated by this is how poor the rest of the chasing pack have been. And the teams that you ordinarily say are their title rivals. Yeah. My only point of disagreement with Daniel is that they may not even need a big gap by February. If it has to take an 8-point gap or an 8-point security for them to retain the league, it will be because they are at that point where maybe the PTSD from the previous years is still there, and that I don't think that's the case. And when I look at Liverpool and Man City, I don't think they are able to find the level of consistency that will keep Arsenal in check. And when it comes to it, this City team does not look like they are capable of beating Arsenal over 90 minutes. Look, even if Arsenal drop points, Arsenal will drop points at some point in the season, but in the unlikely events that they drop so many points that there is a 1 or 2 points difference, and City have a healthier goal difference, and they need to win that game, City don't look like they are capable of beating Arsenal in such a game by everything that they've shown this season. And so for me, it's the product of their consistency. It's the product of ridiculous faith in Mikel Arteta and the investments that they have made, in the sense that if you look at the last 3 games and some of the changes that Mikel Arteta has made, some of the new players that he's new because they were not players who have started the season with Arsenal, but that have been introduced into the group. It's just crazy depth. But it is also not far from how the Premier League traditionally has been won. If you look at the days of Manchester United's glory days, the depth in terms of world-class attacking quality in midfield, it was crazy. I mean, you talk about the Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez, Berbatov, all of them in one team. And then you've got supporting cast of younger players.
You didn't even add Cristiano.
By that time, Ronaldo had left. Then if you are talking about the Ronaldo era, there was still Luis Saha, there was still Carlos Tevez, there was still Wayne Rooney and all of that. In 2006, there was still Alan Smith. The Chelsea team that won the Premier League in 2010, just look at the midfield options they had. They had Deco, they had Bala, they had Michael Essien, they had Frank Lampard.
Mikel Obi.
And all of that. Man City, the same. So this is it. This is perhaps the one season where Arsenal have had the proper squad that reflects the level of depth that the great teams that have won the Premier League in our time have done it. And so a lot of people have been asking why Eberechi Eze has not seen a lot of games, and since that, if you call it mistake or whatever he did in that game against Villa, he's been an unused substitute for the next 4 league games. And Arsenal don't even look like they are a team that is missing their £60 million signing from the summer, because Odegaard is back in the team. The goals appear to have dried up for Victor Gyökeres, but Gabriel Jesus walked back into the team, and it looks as if he was just another important player who's been drafted.
The options have become many.
In defense, Gabriel Magalhaes missed a couple of games, but it didn't look, because now they have actual depth, but also as far as partnerships and team chemistry is concerned, they are at a level where if you take one player out of the team, the difference is not too huge. Look, if I look through that squad, there are perhaps only about 2 players who, when they leave, there is a significant drop in who the replacements are, and that is Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka. apart from that, for every other position, there's someone there who can come in and do a decent job for you.
That clearly shows that they're in a good place. Now let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea, Sitcho has spoken extensively about Chelsea's structure, how no manager worth his salt would want to accept that. Chelsea went about 7 games with just a single victory. Got their coach, Enzo Maresca, out. Went to Manchester City with their under-21 coach, secured a draw. But the reports are suggesting that, and Achu will always talk about this, that relationship between Chelsea and Strasbourg is the same people. They've just gone to one club to pick one of their own. The person is already their employee. Just pick him and come and drop him here and get another one too over there. But then talk to me about Chelsea managing their draw against Manchester City, and the reports suggesting that Strasbourg's manager, Liam Rossignol, is likely to take over. How does it change the current situation of Chelsea?
Very difficult job for him. First of all, the Man City draw, not surprising. It's typical Chelsea. And see, it's for lack of a better word, it's simpler to prepare a top team up against another top team, especially on the back of adversity in quote.
So the motivation of the players already is on different levels. Yeah.
You know that Chelsea players will step up when, and this Man City team is not that Man City team of a couple of years ago. So it was better placed to prepare them for that. So not too surprised. If you give this guy a run of 5 games against them, that's when I think we'll see
his motivation
level. But look, we've mentioned this thing in the past, and I'm glad you mentioned Sitcho. He's consistently hammered on this thing. And the reality is now playing right in front of us. The Chelsea manager leaves the job, and the most likely candidate they are being linked to is a coach of Strasbourg. Like, nobody's mentioning any big name, nobody's mentioning any bright young manager who is making the waves. Because no top coach really wants that environment where all you have to do is to coach. And again, if you go down to, you mentioned the last 7 games. If you look at
2 in 9.
The context in some of those
2
games.
in 9. Yeah.
Look, go down and look at the context in some of those games. We are talking about squad depth. Yeah, Chelsea on paper have 2 players in each position. It looks nice on paper. But this is not FC25. This is not FC26. It's real life. On the left-hand side, Garnacho and Gittins, probably on the same level, very inconsistent. You don't know what they'll give you. And this is a team that wants to challenge for top 4. Omonyade, the 2 of them. Kopama recently came back. Before Kopama came back, it was Joao Pedro who sometimes play as number 10. Very funny. Sometimes Enzo will play as number 10.
Yeah.
Very funny. But let's say Kopama has come back. But they don't have real quality depth in the team. And this December has come with a chunk of games because of Champions League, Carabao Cup, Premier League. So whether you like it or not, the manager has had to rotate. And anytime he's rotated, it has affected the quality of the team. Because the guys in the squad, Omonyade, Badiashile, what's the guy's name? Tosin, and this boy, they are not good enough. They are not Chelsea level. But once they wear the blue shirt, you expect a certain level of performance.
Yeah.
And they can't give it to you because they are not those players. They are just not good enough. Tosin was Fulham. He was playing at Fulham. And it's not like he was Fulham's best centre-back. He was a Fulham centre-back. And now he's come to Chelsea and gets...
he had to qualify that.
Yeah.
He was just part of the squad.
Just part of the squad. And when I look, I really feel like these owners are diluting the greatness of this team. Because, look, back in the day, we knew that going into a season, whether Chelsea have a good coach, whether we back it, you know that at the end of the season, the title, they'll compete. They'll push you for it. Yeah. There will be some competition where they'll go and win. But right now, you really can't see it. Like, you are world champions, but you can't win. You can't even challenge for your domestic.
Chelsea sacked Di Matteo within the season, went and brought Rafael Benitez. They were top managers.
Bottom line is, they'll win something. They'll challenge for something.
Yeah, he won was it the Europa Cup?
Yeah, he won the Europa.
Yeah.
Look, it's really problematic when you look at this Chelsea team. And again, look at the caliber of Maresca came in, and he came in as a nobody. He came in as a championship-winning coach. So then he will accept the job. He works in his first season, he wins the European trophy, he wins the World Club Championships. And right now, he looks at himself and feels he's capable of doing more.
Okay,
and he's in a team that he feels
can do better.
Then you go and buy him these children. No, look, and I'm saying children in context. This is Chelsea. Like, Drogba and Lampard and Terry, they are Chelsea.
Yeah.
These guys are not their level. Like, Delap and Joao Pedro will not even be on the bench during Drogba's time. Like, remember, Crespo and Co were sitting on the bench. Like, that's Chelsea level.
Remember Kezman? Yeah.
Look, what Arsenal have right now is what Chelsea should be bragging with. And they have the know-how and the ability. But you don't go and buy small players hoping to sell. That's not Chelsea. That's not how you build a consistent winning team. And it's very frustrating because now we are looking at Rosiner coming. And it's not like I'm wishing him doom. But the Premier League is tough. It's unforgiving. He's coming in the middle of a season. It's going to be very difficult for him.
He's English.
It doesn't matter.
He understands the English media. They will pressure him to do stuff. So,
look, you can understand it. If you're not doing well, it will affect you. It's not about understanding. It's about getting the results. You can fight with the media all day, but win matches and you maintain your job. If you are friends with the media and you are not getting results, they will sack you at the end of the day. And that's where the problem has gotten to. Where managers now, we are not... And you see, the Chelsea job is open. Yes, we know that Chelsea are courting Rosenau. But we are not even seeing the top managers throwing their hat into it and saying,
oh, yes. Consider me.
It's an issue. So, yeah, Chelsea fans, some of them want to sack Maresca. He's gone. But wait.
Also, wait.
Like, really, like, this is the guy you want to take you for. I wish him all the best. But again, Charlie, Strasbourg is not Chelsea. He has not seen pressure like this before.
The Ligue 1 is not a Premier League.
It's not the Premier League. Strasbourg is not Chelsea. The job is hard. This guy won a world championship and the fans were calling for his head 3 months ago. That's the pressure out Chelsea.
Yes.
Win at all costs. So
but I saw a certain video on YouTube and the guy said, I can't even recognize my club anymore. I can't recognize my club anymore. You know those English guys?
They better get used to it. Chelsea, as they know it, is not the same. Both in terms of mindsets and in terms of how the owners want to run the club. If the decision to go for Liam Rosiner is the clearest indicator that the owners...
ambitions have changed.
The people who take technical decisions on behalf of the owners, they are not prepared to depart from how they are running it. The results they are getting, they are very comfortable with it. The players they are signing, they are not prepared to depart from that modus operandi.
The Fetio and Benay and Co should...
No.
They should just understand. They'll get emotional.
The briefing Chelsea gave... There are journalists who cover Chelsea more than anyone.
Yeah.
The briefing Chelsea has given these guys and is that they were prepared to stick with Maresca until the end of his 2-year cycle. As far as Chelsea are concerned, the project is on course. Yes, 2 wins in 9. Performances are fluctuating. All of these issues. But as far as they are concerned, the objectives that they have set, they are on course. Because they see that the team has won 1 Conference League and then the Club World Cup. And so in their minds, the project is...
You can stumble on success. But that doesn't mean that...
I'm coming. That is their truth. But what the rest of us see is that way of running Chelsea, it looks like Brighton with a lot of money. And maybe there is a reason they are signing a lot of ex-Brighton directors and employees.
Maybe it's possible. Maybe they've looked at the structure of Brighton.
And they want to.
And they want you.
Why would Chelsea want to copy Brighton?
What I take from this is that they are looking to sign young players with high resale value and then sell them, just like Brighton. And so at every point in time, for every transfer window, their objectives and their decisions will be informed by which player fits that module. The young players available on the transfer market who they think they can sign and sell for a profit later on. Rather than someone who walks into the team, moves the needle and raises the floor or the ceiling of that team and helps the team take a few steps forward than they did in the previous season. And that's why after the season ended...
They are not ambitious for trophies.
No. That is their ambition. And I'm saying that we need to be able to criticize them, but still be open-minded to understand their way of thinking. So their way of thinking is what I've explained. It is what explains the decision to go for someone like Garnacho and then Jamie Gittins in the same transfer window that they signed, what's his name? Estevao. Usually, if you are doing a proper squad building for a team that just won the Club World Cup, or for any team, you look at the areas of need and look at the performance levels of your first team, of the players in that starting lineup. Whoever you are signing comes in to either give you something significantly better or mildly better. If it's just about more of the same, don't sign it. Give those minutes to some academy player who's coming through the ranks, rather than going to spend combined £110 million for Garnacho and what.
So just promoted their academy players to the senior team, so add value to them.
So that is why a lot of big coaches, this project, it's not that it doesn't make sense, but to them, it will be a waste of time because last season, Chelsea finished third, or was it fourth? Got into Champions League barely. After winning the Club World Cup, what the transfer objective should have been is that for a team that struggled to get a lot of goals and had to rely on the inconsistent Nicholas Jackson, you look at someone who guarantees you 20 Premier League goals. And then maybe two wide players who have got a reputation of scoring between 10 to 20 goals by the end of the season. So you know that for one Premier League proven striker, he walks into the team, he's giving you those goals. And then there are two other wide players, or even if it's a high-scoring midfielder. Once you add that between 30 to 40 goals to the team, and all other things being equal, you have a better chance of competing for the title. That is progress. So in that next season, even if you don't win the Premier League, but the team still grows, challenges for the title, and that doesn't even do well in the Champions League. But that's well...
some of us, we need to be
in the Premier League.
Detach ourselves from the club.
That's well in the Premier League. That gives you a sense of a growth, because what Chelsea did last season, they are going to have a similar season this time. Yet it is a season where
they cannot get European.
No, but I'm saying that it will be disappointing because, one, they would have stagnated. Number two, they would have failed to take advantage of a season where only Arsenal were consistent. City have been inconsistent, and City are the closest team to Arsenal. Liverpool have had their worst season in a mighty while. Man United continue to be as inconsistent as they are.
United are not inconsistent. They are consistently
consistent, yes.
so we'll have to graduate the conversation to the second of Ruben Amorim. But before we do that, let me take some messages that have come through. This one says, hello guys, my regards to you all. Even MHB578 Standard 3 says, cast slot away. So, what? Cast slot away. So what are Liverpool waiting for? That's an interesting one. Those say, good evening, guys. My name is Nana Kwesi, watching you live from Pokwase. I see what? He said,
"You cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord."
And so what he is saying that the Standard 3 says, cast slot away.
Cast slots
away, and a slot, so they should cast them away. So what is Liverpool waiting for?
Okay, I get it.
Another question is also saying that he's watching us live from Pokwase, and he thinks Chelsea and Man United should have swapped coaches instead of sacking them. Thomas Frank at Tottenham Hotspur, only win when they feel like winning. Thomas Frank too has had some very difficult period with Tottenham Hotspur this season. This one says, hi, I am CEO Pom from Brekum. Keep on the good work. Barcelona all the way. I hope we get to talk about Barcelona. And Jason from Tema says that the only serious person in Manchester United is your bus driver. This thing.
He gets the job done.
Someone saying Ruben Amorim. I say Ruben Imori. He has been used for Mori.
Kondo. Ruben Mori.
Yes. He said he has been used for Banku and chopped. Kanzo Moriska of Chelsea, chopped with some sweet potato sauce. This one is from, it said Miss Nancy of Celtic got divorced. Hey, up next is Thomas Downton Frank of Spurs, who is going to be fried with the anti-slot of Liverpool. Wow, what an interesting one. This is a very interactive show. Send me your messages. I will read them to the rest of our viewers all over the world. Let's talk about, then again, let me start with you when it comes to Ruben Amorim. What's your answer? How is Sean? Because Eric Ten Hag, we were here talking about Eric Ten Hag. You were calling for the head of Eric Ten Hag. He was fired. Ruben Amorim came. Now you're saying Ishan. How?
Why? So you've not been watching Man U over the past 12 months?
I've seen them. The numbers are not good. But there was a point where people actually believed that the team was making progress.
And there was a point. He came, pat and left. He didn't check.
It was like a decimal point.
Quick.
But firing Ruben Amorim.
Oh, good.
Was this long overdue, though?
Good decision. And you know he's my guy. You know I like Ruben Amorim. I was actually one of those who go to church and pray for him to succeed. But, you see, God works in mysterious ways. He has a way of communicating to us. So his ways are not our ways. You would think that God doesn't like you, God doesn't like you. No. His ways are not his ways, his plans are not our plans. Amorim is just not cut out for this
big job.
Not the big job. This Man U job is too big. It's too big. So this sackment is a blessing in disguise for him. And it's a win-win for both parties.
Just yesterday, we were talking about the fact that he has 18 months.
Charlie, 38% winning rate. Now, the guy know what's his issue.
He was hired as the manager of the club.
Manchester United. And you've been there for over a year, and your win rate is 38%. And you, the time we were writing was, if you chop 38%, what grade is it? You tell me, what grade is it?
That's F9.
38%.
It'll be F9. In fact, even at this point, if you're in a university and you get 38%, what feel it? In fact, you are likely to rewrite that paper.
Look, only 3 teams have performed worse than Man U during his tenure as United boss. Only 3 teams have performed worse. Do you know what it means?
Which clubs are these? And this one takes me back to Sicho saying that he survived relegation from last season because of the points accumulated by Ten Hag.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's true. I shame it, but it's true. No, because the rate at which he was going. Boga, Tottenham with Postecoglou. Said, guy no was so they sacked him. He even won trophy. He beat Amorim in the final. They sacked him.
Yeah.
Tottenham, West Ham. The last one is who safe? Wolves. This season, Wolves have 6 points. So. Wolves, they had 2 points before they met Man U. They had not gotten a point away from home until they met Man U. Just say Amorim there on Amnaocheche, he's just dashing points to people. And you see, the issue here is, at the start of the season, I said, I'll even say we all said, I said that in as much as he was terrible in the season before, it will be very unfair to sack him because, and I was talking from a pro-Amorim POV, he's a system manager who was forced to take the job in the middle of the season. The first transfer window he met, they signed him Dogu.
A product
They brought
of
him
right to
only
dream.
Dogu. Right to dream ground, they will discuss it. Dogu. His first transfer window, you get him a couple of players, and then let's see how he will perform. Especially because United are also going to be playing one match a week because no European football.
Yeah.
Then they went out of the Carabao Cup in the second round. So from August to December, in fact, from August to January, Man United have been playing one match a week. They train just to go and show up for one match. Now, if you check the schedule again, United have been playing in the last day of the match day. Just the last match of the match day.
7 days.
For like 6 or 7 weeks in a row. So you play Monday. You play Monday, you come and play Monday again. They are not even giving you Monday, they will give you Saturday or Sunday. People will play Sunday, they'll go and play Wednesday, they'll come back and play Sunday. You are playing Monday, you play Sunday, one match. And during that period, Chelsea have been dropping points. And Chelsea can tell you that they are tired. They went to play Barcelona, then they face Arsenal, then they face back-to-back tough games. They were tired, they had to rotate. They dropped some points. Man City dropping points. Liverpool dropping points. Yet, all these people are still ahead of you. The worst 4 teams in the away league table. When you do the Premier League table, take your phone, go and look at the Premier League table. And select away, away table.
Yes.
The worst teams away, when they came to Old Trafford, they are collecting points. Wolves came to Old Trafford, came to take a point. Everton beat Man U. West Ham came to take a point. Bournemouth, they are 16th on their way, came to you. So, you, Amorim, after all I've done for you, I've sat here and I did bottles. After all I've done for you, who can you beat? If you can't beat Wolves, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham at home, these were all points dropped. And remember, we looked at the fixture list and we said,
This December,
this Yuletide season, feasting.
Yuletide.
Feasting. But unfortunately for Man United and for Amorim himself, he has gone to drop points, and God being so good. You see, I always say, look at the season in context too. God being so good, he still sit. But look at the gap between the 6th and the 14th or say 15th. Go and look at it. It's like 5 or 6 points. So if he lose guard, he's going back to sender. So I'm happy they've sacked him. Because at the end of the day, Boga, we don't come to work. And allow me, we don't come to work from Monday to Saturday, Sunday sometimes. To go and we finish, we are tired, we go and put on our TV, relax, only for you to come and destroy our mood again because you can't win a simple football.
You come back to the office on Monday already stressed and angry.
The international break to Otto and Blaster to go and lose. So we can't even catch a break.
So, actually, let me hear from you. But this was what the man said. He said, I just want to say, I came here to be the manager, not to be the coach. In every department, the scouting department, the sporting director, they need to do their job. I will do mine for 18 months, and then we move on. And there's a certain school of thought that this man was probably asking everyone to concentrate on their roles and allow him to also do his job.
No, probably. I think he wanted to be sacked.
Was this the final straw?
Yeah, I think he wanted to be sacked. Nobody can convince me that Amorim didn't know what he was doing. For a long time, initially, I thought this was an emotionally unstable guy who rants at the least sign of trouble. You remember last season, small thing or then he would say that, maybe the team needs a new change of direction. We need a new coach. Something has to. As recent as this season, after the Grimsby defeat, he said the same thing. He said maybe something has to change. And the club said no. Last season, we had so many reports of the club literally having to beg him and cajole him and whatever it had to be said, whatever had to be said,
jawlating with him.
whatever had to be said to him to put him at ease. Meanwhile, he was the one stinking up the place. So, like, this is the manager who was not getting results. He was losing games that he was not supposed to be losing. Instead of putting him under pressure, United were doing everything to pamper him just to keep him in the job because they had made their bed and they were prepared to lie on it. But you see, to understand all of this mess, you have to circle back to the very beginning of Ineos. I think the first mistake they made was to put the cart before the horse. And by that I mean the decision to appoint the head coach before the director of football.
Okay.
And more importantly, to appoint him when the sporting director was not in support of his appointment. If you remember, Ineos made that appointment. Dan Ashworth, who was the director of football, we were told was not in support of Amorim's appointment. Then later, Jason Wilcox came in. And Ashworth was later fired for not backing Amorim because he had said he didn't see how this was going to work and he didn't have faith in the whole three-back system and the mere fact that...
And they wanted to force him to back it.
And that Amorim was not prepared to change from that. That's because at every football club, once you decide to have that kind of structure, the sporting director and the technical directors, they are the ones who make the call on who is the head coach. It should not be the chief executive or whoever. But this looks like one of those appointments where, there was this whole school of thoughts that Omar Berrada, before leaving City, the succession plan for Pep was that they were going to export the entire structure at Sporting Lisbon. So the sporting director there, Hugo Viana, I think, was supposed to come in and be the sporting director of Man City. In fact, he is the man as we speak. Amorim was supposed to follow as the head coach. He had been promised the job. And once Omar Berrada got a job at Man United, he thought, well, if this guy is good enough for City, then I might as well bring him to Man United. Later, when the sporting director in Jason Wilcox also comes in, he's not exactly sold on Ruben Amorim, but is prepared to support them. That is where the problems began. But to answer your question specifically on Ruben Amorim and what got him sacked is that he was not good enough. He could not do the job. He was not getting results because... And for me, it's not even about the formation...
But I put up the numbers again.
It's not even about the formation or systems or whatever. Coaches are hired to win football games.
63 matches, 25 wins.
To stay in the job. I've seen the numbers moved out. To stay in the job long enough to execute your ideal system, you need to win football matches. Those wins will buy you time. And then, over the period, you can use that time to carry your message across. Unlike most coaches,
in fact, if you were
Amorim has had more than enough time. Amorim has had more than enough time.
That's what I want to say. If you were winning your matches, players will have confidence in your philosophies and ideas when it comes to the game.
Look, Amorim has had more than enough time. But the reason he could not deviate from his back three system is because he's not good enough. When people say that the job is too big for him, I disagree. Coaching, it is the same everywhere. At big clubs, there are other variables that will come into play. But when the ball is kicked, the tactical habits that the team has formed over many hours of training at the team's training base are the things that will show on the pitch. So when you have coached a team for 14 months and still, United are so easy to play through, that one, it has nothing to do with whether the team is a big team or not. Unless, of course, the argument is that the personalities in the dressing room are too big and so they don't listen to the coach. But that is not the case here. It is a clear case of a manager. And you see, it is very easy to understand why Amorim is not capable of coaching any other tactic but the three-back, the 3-4-2-1 or the 3-5-2 or whatever it is. Amorim is 3 years old as a professional elite football manager. He hasn't had enough experiences to draw from. He has not tested all of these other formations that people want to see him deploy. the 4-4-2, 4-2-3, or whatever. He has not tested it enough in different tactical scenarios to see the outcomes for him to trust that when the situation requires, he can introduce it, restore balance, and get what the team needs in that particular game state.
But many
because
coaches
look,
do that.
when it comes to, no, they don't do that. They don't wish it into existence. When it comes to coaching, it is pure science. It is ideas that you have tested over time with unique profiles of players that you have seen that for this particular game state or scenario, I have the players at my disposal. This is how I can deploy my men, and they will get the results for me. So when people say that Amorim is not good enough to coach a different approach, it is not insulting. No. It is the reality of the guy. He is not experienced enough. He hasn't done it long enough in other situations for him to... How do you draw from experience you don't have?
Okay.
So that is the man's biggest problem. So all this while, when people were asking him to change to what? What's that? This, everything he was teaching the players at Manchester United is all he knows. He doesn't know enough. Even with the back three, look, how do you look at this system and say that, number one, the best player in the team is someone who should be moved into playing a position that he hasn't played in over 6 years, in Bruno Fernandes.
He was trying
and then United's chances were rather falling to Dogu and then Diogo Dalot. Look, I always say that any strategy, that leaves the team's best chances for its worst finisher is defective, is dysfunctional. And I will never support it. This idea, finally, when Amorim tells you that, when people tell you that Amorim was not properly back, it is lies. Because in Amorim's first transfer window, he chose Mbeumo. He chose Matheus Cunha. No be so.
Sesko.
Now we are also learning through Bruno Fernandes that when Manchester United wanted to get rid of him in the summer, it was Ruben Amorim who said, I want this guy to stay.
But that was a good thing.
So
no, he just...
Yeah, it was a good thing.
No, what he just trying to let us understand is that he was back.
Just to tell you that when people say that Ruben Amorim was not back, it is lies. As for the decision not to sign players for him in January, it makes 1,000,000% sense because the players that you asked to be signed for you, what have you gotten out of them? Everyone can tell they have quality. Everyone can... but just 8 months ago, Mbeumo finished the season with 20 Premier League goals. Matheus Cunha finished the season with 15 non-penalty goals. That is 35 goals from 2 forwards alone. What are the repetitive or the choreographed patterns of play in that Manchester United attack? That will tell you that, okay, this is what he's trying to do. The only patterns we have seen from Amorim has been long ball, Sesko flick on, Mbeumo runs on two. That is it. Which other pattern is there? So the decision to sack Ruben Amorim, 1,000,000% correct. My only disagreement with it is that it has come 8 months late. Because I said they should sack him.
You actually said they should sack him.
Look, immediately United lost that game to Spurs. See, the guy, he's lucky to be working a free man. How do you lose a cup final to Spurs?
It's okay. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Don't forget. Let me take these messages. This one says, someone has given up on us. He said we are ridiculing Chelsea, so he decided to go and sleep. Ridiculing Chelsea. Someone also says, good evening, Joy Sports. Can you help me with this problem? The next sports journalists and sports presenters were calling for Coach Otuado's head when it was difficult for the Black Stars to qualify. But immediately the Black Stars qualified, the same sports journalists and presenters have turned and kept quiet. And I'm even praising him. Was it just the qualification which was necessary or the performance of the coach? I'm not too sure. If you have listened to these gentlemen here, express their opinions on Otto. In fact, there was a day we had game plan where a chunk of the comments we all passed were that Otto is not good enough. Even if he had to go to the World Cup, he shouldn't be.
If somebody is praising Otto, the person is entitled to.
That's the person's opinion.
Going against Otto, the person's.
That's the person's opinion.
You can't expect all sports journalists to have one mind.
One mind. But the fact is that you heard the FA president talk about the fact that he has just qualified for the World Cup and journalists are talking about sacking the coach. Are we kidding?
That guy.
So that clearly tells you that maybe you probably didn't listen to us well. And this also says, to be honest, I'm just laughing as the case as in Man United. I hope Amorim will pay for the TVs you broke. Did you break any TV you have?
Oh, me, I don't do that. I don't do that.
So this one says, hi, I am Mr. Nobody. Please, why are some teams so wicked? They are spoiling our bet. Man United, yeah, Bobo, them sharpers. And this one also says, hi guys, I've always said that the problem with Manchester United is the board and owners, not the coaches. I guess the fans are probably not smart enough to realize this. Some fans are really smart. This one says, good evening. I'm Ibrahim Suleiman from Menjin Tyne District. He says, I would like to say that we Chelsea are not perturbed about the sacking of Maresca. Tell the accountant that even if Arsenal are left with 6 matches and they lead by 14 points, they cannot win the league.
Who will win it?
He said Chelsea is surely placing the top 4 this season.
Who will win the league?
Maybe he has to tell us which team will win the Premier League.
Chelsea.
He said they keep hiring coaches who are inexperienced and yet they do not provide the materials and environment for the coaches to succeed. What of it all, the ex-players and fans refuse to allow the coaches time to build a worthy team. They should learn from Arsenal and Arteta. Danike, you had your hand in the air.
Yeah. During Achu's submission, he mentioned Dogu. I just wanted to say Dogu.
That's all.
And you see, no, it's not just that. I personally called Jim Radcliffe.
Oh, okay.
After Amorim go play double 10. Hey!
See the guy, crimes against
As a defender, no, the guy, no, when he goes for his cross, he's wearing red. His player is wearing red. Somebody is wearing green at the back. Simple pass. Then he went to play the guy double 10. And then that day, if you check the calendar now, that day it was getting to Christmas, Jesus' birthday. So Jesus dashed on one goal. And he thought that it was going to be some recurring thing.
So right?
Did you see him against Leeds United? Dogu will do something and then Bono eventually he will turn and look at Amorim like he's begging, he's a coach, I beg you.
If you let's do AFCON. Let's go to Morocco and bring you highlights of some of the matches that were played. 7 countries so far have made it to the quarterfinal of the ongoing African Cup of Nations. Tomorrow we'll have an idea which team joins them. It is going to be Algeria versus DR Congo. Which team is going to make the last 8 of the tournament? But already Egypt is there, Cameroon is there, Morocco, Nigeria are all in there. Senegal, they had to come from behind to beat Sudan and also make it to the last 8 of the tournament. Let's take a look at the highlights and we'll come back. We'll talk about that briefly, then we'll wrap up. These are some matches that happened in the round of 16 of the African Cup of Nations. And as I mentioned, Algeria, they will be in action against DR Congo tomorrow. And we'll also have Burkina Faso coming up against Côte d'Ivoire. These are the matches that will be happening tomorrow for us to have the final 8 teams in the quarterfinal of the tournament. Mali is up against Senegal. Then there will be the contest between Cameroon and the host nation, Morocco, in the other quarterfinal fixture. So then we'll have Nigeria. Nigeria, they played earlier today. They beat Mozambique.
Yeah.
Yes. And they are also going to...
They'll face Algeria or DRC.
That's going to be a massive one. A big one there. But, gentlemen, so far, the African Cup of Nations, have you seen teams that look like they could lay their hands on the trophy? You were just talking about how you're not too sure Morocco will do it.
Yeah, Morocco haven't convinced me. They haven't. And it seems like they are struggling to deal with the pressure. They are not playing freely, which is an issue. If you look at them in qualifying, both World Cup and the AFCON qualifying, they play some very nice, expansive, attacking football, score a lot of goals. But in this competition, it's like the shackles are on. They seem not to be handling the pressure too well. And I think it's just a matter of time before it goes against them. The Senegalese have looked good. I was tipping Egypt. In fact, I'm still tipping Egypt. Today's victory was a bit iffy, but they got the job done. DRC. I'm going to fast and pray for them. You know, I really like the people from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
That are very people, these people. I Shelley said they did voodoo, no?
So I want them to meet again. That's what I'm going to. And honestly speaking, when I look at Algeria, they've looked good, but I don't think they'll be able to match the physicality of the Nigerian team. So I need DRC to be in that position.
Okay. And, what about Burkina, Ivory Coast?
Oh, I want Ivory Coast to win. If you've noticed, the top teams have all... It's followed the script in terms of the bigger team on paper. It's followed the script. So the quarterfinal is having some really nice matchups. Although Burkina would pose a big problem to Ivory Coast, I think the Ivorians will get the job done. I think they have enough quality to get the job done. So I'm tipping Ivory Coast in that one. It will be nice. Ivory Coast versus Egypt in that quarterfinal will be a very nice fixture to watch.
But you let me hear from you.
We've spoken at length about how Mali in the past have not lived up to their reputation, or should we say their potential, as far as the...
Always flattering to deceive.
Yeah. But I think in consecutive tournaments, they are now getting back to the highs of the early 2010s. A lot of people forget, and it often goes under the radar when Mali's AFCON reputation in the last decade is being talked about. They made consecutive semi-final appearances in 2012 and 2013. And then after that, they failed to make it out of the group stage in 2 consecutive tournaments. Then round of 16 exits in 2019 and 2021. I think the 2021 one is where a lot of people...
Recency memory.
Yeah, because of who they lost to, Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
But since then, the last AFCON, they were eliminated in the quarters by defending champions, who were eventual winners
of the tournament.
And now they actually won their group.
And in fact, even in that game, that's where the fights and other things happened, because they thought the referee had cheated them with some decisions.
The referee didn't cheat them. They got Ivory Coast got a red card. Mali scored in extra time. Then Ivory Coast equalized and scored again.
Against them. But there was a tournament where they topped the group with Tunisia and South Africa.
Yeah.
This tournament, when a lot of people completely wrote them off, they found a way into the quarterfinal stage. And I think if you look at this Mali group, this is as good as they are going to get. Like, I would not look at any AFCON and expect that this Mali group should be making the semi-final. Not when all the big boys are present. I mean, the only way this happened.
That group stage, when you say people wrote them off, that group stage, we all knew they would qualify. It was Mali and Morocco who were tipped to qualify. They added third place team. Of course, we knew they would qualify. The Tunisia they beat no. They today have their issues.
The things that are not doing well for the
But the quarterfinal has come. If they manage to enter the semi, I'll be the first person to come and say, "Make me
Gentlemen, we have to go. We have to go. Good evening, guys. This is Sharif watching you from Tema Community 2. He says there's no coach in this world that can use this current Man United team to get results. Wow. Quite an interesting one. This one also says, kudos to all of you and Happy New Year to you. In fact, I'm really disappointed about the Amorim sack. He was the right man for the job.
What team does he support?
But then, how can I get you? What? Okay. He wants to get you something on social media. I don't know what that is. And this one, Abina from Sekwa says, my question is, are there plans to add any better brain to support Otoado? I'm sure the FA might have plans to do that. Show proudly brought to you by Guinness. Yes, we can. Pure Beverages, a taste you will love. They have made it possible for us to bring you Sports Zone tonight. Thank you very much for your company.
And Litina.
Yes, Litina Travel and Tours. Contact them on 0244 260 789.
Sweet Liti. We are going to USA, Canada, and Mexico.
Sing for them.
Travel and tours.
Sing for them.
Oh, the voice is somewhere.
Every tournament, people come here with stories of being defrauded and scammed.
Oh, yeah. So
that's why we're giving you Litina.
Sweet Litina.
Go to Litina. And they are located at Alisa Hotel. Yeah, just get there.